Committee on Tribal Unity, CoTU, 29th Separation Day, by Zalingam Media. On October 3, 2025, the Committee on Tribal Unity, CoTU, headquartered in Kangpokpi District, observed the 29th Separation Day at the Martyrs Cemetery in Sadar Hills. This commemoration symbolized more than a remembrance. It was a reaffirmation of the Kuki people's political and moral demand for separate administration within India. The day was marked by a general shutdown, reaffirmation of the 8-point public resolution, and strong calls to the Government of India to formalize administrative separation from the Meitei-dominated Imphal Valley. According to Ukhrul Times, the observance drew thousands of people from different Kuki villages who gathered to pay floral tributes to fallen volunteers and renew their collective pledge for autonomy. The speeches reflected frustration over the lack of political progress, combined with a unified call for the creation of a union territory with legislature under Article 329A of the Indian Constitution. This analysis examines the document issued by CoTU on October 3, 2025, and explores the wider implications of the 8-point public resolution, political developments, and future trajectories for peace and governance. Each segment draws upon verified reports from the Hills Journal, India Today NE, the Tribune India, and Imphal Times, among others. The genesis and evolution of Separation Day. Historical background. The roots of Separation Day trace back to the ethnic conflict that erupted on May 3, 2023. According to the Tribune India, violent clashes between Kuki and Meitei communities led to over 200 deaths and the displacement of nearly 60,000 people. Initially, the Kuki community observed the 3rd of every month as Remembrance Day to honor victims and defenders. Over time, the commemoration evolved into Separation Day, marking both a physical and ideological division between the two communities. By 2024, CoTU began organizing mass gatherings under this new terminology, emphasizing that coexistence under the present Manipur government had become impossible. According to the Hills Journal, the shift in nomenclature symbolized a definitive stance that the Kukis and Zo tribes now sought not reconciliation, but recognition of their separate administrative identity. Separation Day 2025, Symbolism and Shutdown. On October 3, 2025, CoTU enforced a 12-hour total shutdown along National Highway 2, connecting Kangpokpi to Imphal. As reported by Imphal Times, essential services were exempted, ensuring the strike remained peaceful and symbolic. The shutdown effectively halted traffic and trading activities, signaling the Kuki community's continued defiance and unity. According to India Today NE, CoTU's leadership described the strike as a sacred reminder to the Government of India that the Kuki people would never return to the Manipur Legislative Assembly until their aspirations were met. This act also served as a message to the central government that the state's existing political structure no longer represented their interests. The 8-point public resolution, the backbone of the movement. The core of CoTU's 29th Separation Day was the reaffirmation of the 8-point public resolution, first adopted during the 22nd Remembrance Day. According to the Hills Journal and Ukhrul Times, this resolution outlines the non-negotiable terms of the Kuki political movement. Point 1. No complacency until aspirations are fulfilled. The first clause declares that no Kuki citizen shall remain complacent until their political aspirations are achieved. As the Frontier Manipur noted, this signifies the continuation of resistance and political non-cooperation with the state government until the centre intervenes. Point 2. No free movement for Meiteis in Kuki territory. This clause prohibits unrestricted passage of Meitei individuals through Kuki areas. According to the print, this stems from deep mistrust after alleged attacks on Kuki settlements by Meitei armed groups such as Arambai Tengol. CoTU's call is meant to reinforce self-protection, though critics warn it risks reinforcing ethnic divisions. Point 3. Democratic means of resistance. CoTU pledged that the Kuki people would continue to pursue only democratic means, rallies, petitions, shutdowns and political advocacy, until separate administration is granted. As the Hindu observed, the insistence on democratic struggle contrasts with the state's militarized approach and serves to legitimize the movement in the eyes of India's wider public. Point 4. Ban on collaboration with Meitei political platforms. According to India Today NE, CoTU explicitly forbade Kuki leaders from liaising with Meitei-dominated parties or organizations. The warning reflects growing suspicion that some local leaders might compromise community interests for political gain. Point 5. Condemnation of the governor's meeting with Arambai Tengal. The fifth point criticized Manipur's governor for meeting with the radical Meitei group Arambai Tengal. As reported by the Hills Journal, CoTU perceived this as state endorsement of militancy against the Kukis, further eroding confidence in state institutions. The statement used this as proof that buffer zones are necessary to safeguard Kuki territories. Point 6. Safety and release of village volunteers. The sixth clause addressed security volunteers, civilian defenders of Kuki villages. According to Ukhrul Times, CoTU demanded their immediate and unconditional release if arrested, arguing that these volunteers are not militants but community protectors. Point 7. Rejection of forced normalization or CoTU firmly rejected any government-backed attempts at people-to-people dialogue without prior security guarantees. According to the Hills Journal, this clause was a direct rebuke to peace-building initiatives promoted by New Delhi and the Manipur state government, which the Kuki leadership views as premature and insincere. Point 8. Demand for union territory with legislature. The final clause is the most decisive. CoTU declared that no Kuki leader or organization should compromise the demand for a union territory with its own legislature under Article 329A. According to Economic Times, the 10 Kuki MLAs also reaffirmed this position, emphasizing that nothing short of administrative separation will ensure long-term peace. The role of the 10 Kuki MLAs. CoTU's document repeatedly invoked the 10 Kuki MLAs who have boycotted the Manipur Assembly since 2023. According to EPOW News, these MLAs from both ruling and opposition parties maintained that returning to the Assembly would legitimize an administration complicit in the atrocities against our people. As reported by India Today, the MLAs met central officials in New Delhi in mid-2025 to request the creation of a union territory encompassing Kuki-dominated hill districts. Their continued absence from state functions underlines the depth of the divide between the hills and the valley. Internal discipline and social caution. CoTU's concluding note issued a stern warning to community members. Any leader, individual or organization attempting to engage with Meitei political forces would be viewed as betraying the collective cause. According to the Frontier Manipur, this is both a moral and strategic mechanism to preserve unity within the Kuki ranks. However, the resolution's language, especially terms like predators of our women and perpetrators of mass genocide, reflects the trauma of the 2023 violence. According to the Hills Journal, such rhetoric could harden social divides, but also illustrates the emotional depth of unresolved grievances. The broader implications for peace and governance. Militarization and buffer zones. CoTU's emphasis on buffer zones reflects a significant security dimension. According to the Hindu, buffer zones along inter-ethnic borders are meant to prevent further clashes, yet they also symbolize the physical separation that now defines Manipur's post-conflict geography. This militarization of space risks turning temporary safety measures into permanent boundaries. Economic and civic impact. Regular shutdowns have disrupted trade, education, and daily life in Kuki areas. The Tribune India reported that NH2, a critical lifeline for food and fuel, remains intermittently blocked. While CoTU insists these actions are non-violent assertions of political will, the economic cost is borne by ordinary villagers, traders, and students. Government and central response. The government of India has so far refrained from making concrete commitments. According to Economic Times, Union Home Ministry officials have only stated that dialogue remains open. The Manipur government, on the other hand, continues to label the separate administration demand as unconstitutional. This political stalemate sustains an environment of distrust. The role of civil society and women. Civil society groups like the Kuki Women Organization for Human Rights, KWOHR, and youth organizations have become integral to the Kuki-zo political movement. According to the Hills Journal, women's organizations are not only advocating for justice for victims of violence, but also shaping political narratives. They are increasingly asserting that gendered violence cannot be separated from the larger question of political autonomy. Youth groups have also mobilized through social media, particularly on Instagram and YouTube. According to India Today NE, online campaigns tagged with Separate Administration Now and Justice for Kuki-zo have amplified awareness nationally. Media, digital advocacy, and public discourse. The 2025 observance saw coordinated digital campaigns. As observed by Ukhrul Times and Zaylingam Media's own content review, Kuki-zo groups utilized Facebook Live and YouTube broadcasts to reach audiences across the Northeast and diaspora communities abroad. This digital mobilization has transformed what was once a localized movement into a transnational cause, engaging human rights organizations and academic circles worldwide. However, as noted by The Hindu, the proliferation of emotionally charged media narratives risks reinforcing echo chambers rather than fostering dialogue. This is a double-edged sword. While it ensures visibility, it also entrenches polarization. The road ahead between hope and hard realities. Political prospects. Analysts cited by the Hills Journal argue that unless the central government proposes a formal framework for dialogue, the demand for separate administration will continue to define Kuki-zo politics. The sustained unity behind CoTU's resolutions demonstrates that the movement is not a fleeting emotional reaction, but a well-organized, ideologically grounded campaign. Humanitarian and security outlook. With sporadic violence, checkpoints, and limited inter-community interaction, the humanitarian situation remains delicate. According to the Tribune India, over 40,000 displaced people are still unable to return to their villages. Any durable peace must begin with restoring security and addressing the displacement crisis. Regional impact. The movement's trajectory could influence similar ethnic assertions across the Northeast. According to the Frontier Manipur, leaders from other tribal groups have quietly expressed solidarity, indicating that the demand for localized governance structures may spread beyond Manipur. Full disclaimer. This report is a comprehensive analysis based on publicly available sources, verified news coverage, and official statements from the Committee on Tribal Unity as of October 2025. The views expressed in the CoTU document represent the organization's position and not that of Zaylingam Media. The analysis seeks to present the developments objectively, acknowledging that the situation in Manipur remains fluid and sensitive. Readers are advised to refer to multiple reliable sources for broader understanding. Call to action. For more analytical reports, ground stories, and exclusive coverage on the unfolding developments in Northeast India, subscribe to Zaylingam Media's YouTube channel. Activate the bell icon to receive instant updates, expert interviews, and community documentaries focusing on justice, peace, and indigenous rights. Stay informed, stay critical, and stand with credible journalism. Sources consulted. Reports from the Tribune India, Ukhrul Times, The Hills Journal, The Frontier Manipur, India Today NE, Economic Times, EPOW News, Imphal Times, The Hindu, and field statements issued by CoTU. October 3, 2025.